What to do when you're at a crossroad. I believe everyone will encounter this not once but multiple times in their life. And what I want to convey is that I have seen a lot of people who come up to me that tell me about their problems or like voice out about their problems, and from the way they speak, it made me realize like they already know the answer, but they just do not want to take on the courage to make a decision. That's why you're at the crossroad. Now, I also encounter problems where I have to decide, where I'm at the crossroad, where I have two choices displayed in front of me and I have to choose. Now, what I want you to know and urge you to know is that when those opportunities come for you to give it to you in front of you, please, 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 if you can, make a decision and stick with it. And know that there is no wrong answer. There really is no wrong answer. It's just that when you stick to this decision and you just go through it, you put yourself in that state and embody that state. So how do I say this? For example, if you have a decision about a career, okay? A career. Let's start with the simple one, which is the career. You have two options displayed in front of you. One option is you know that this option, you roughly know what's gonna happen. You know, because you have been doing this maybe previously, or you saw people do it and then that's how they progress in this career-wise, job-wise, and you already roughly know what to expect because it's been instilled in you, that idea and that expectation. So you already roughly know. And another option, which is a risk, something that you do not know at all, but it's still displayed in front of you during that moment. So now you're in a crossroad because you gotta think now. Are you gonna choose option A, which is the usual career occupation that you go to, or option B, the one where there's uncertainty and there's no answer in your mind at this very moment? So you do not know what type of experience you're gonna get to experience in these options. So both options has different type of risk, different type of experience. What will you choose? Now this is a crossroad, and I believe everyone at some point of their time will be at the crossroad. Now what will you choose? Now instead of saying what will you choose, let me change the question to what will you prioritize? Like, what is your priority? Do you know your priorities? If you do not know, please, please, please go and figure it out. But I believe every single person already have a priority in their mind. It's just that they are also at the crossroad because they do not want to admit it. Because everyone just somehow lack the clarity to admit their priorities and to try out things that might be scary at first because you do not know what the experience might bring you, but it's something that's calling you, but you're not answering to it because of fear, because of uncomfortability, because of them, their judgment in your mind. In your mind, by the way, in your mind, who are they? Who are they? Because there is a specific audience that you're scared to literally tell them about it. Tell them about your goals because you know that somehow this specific audience will stop you. So right now you're at the crossroad and you want to choose option A and option B. Same thing with relationship. Same thing with relationship. Same thing. Same thing with everything, with family also. Same thing. So how will you choose? How? Now, if I manage to ignite some questions and some introspective within you, congratulations, because you're starting to think. Because oftentimes we think, but when we think, we kind of get consumed by a certain emotion. Meaning to say, when we think about the decision, we think it in a way that is trapping us. Do you know how much your mind can trap you because of this option A and option B? Like you started to generate a certain emotion out of it. You started to feel scarcity, you started to feel fear, you started to feel anxious and even anxiety because of the unknown in the future. And you're just overthinking right now at the moment, and you're not really thinking in a very effective way. Our minds can play huge trick on us because where all these options are displayed on you, we will still choose the answer, and then when we choose the answer, we'll still not be happy about it in the end, and then we will regret about it, and we will think, why have I not tried to take more risks? Why do I stick to the safer route? This is oftentimes what people come across in. Now, I want you to understand that it is totally normal, but from today onwards, I want you to think differently in how the way you systematic think about your problem. Okay? How do you think about your problem? Now, if I were to share a bit of my experience, okay, like the example that I gave you with the option A and option B. Last time, I was working in consultancy. And when I was working in consultancy, I think I worked for a few months, and I have already know roughly like all of the patterns and all of the things that needs to do in consultancy. So I've already learned what I should know. And I got offered 2 jobs at that time. So option A, it was the same job, but it's just for different projects and using the same expertise that I have honed throughout the months. So I know what to expect. And another options require a larger risk, but it is the same pay. And it is something that I never done before. So I had literally zero like expectation about it because I do not know. And it's something that was something, a new sector for me to try out. Now, I'm at a crossroad right now. because I can choose option A, which is going to the comfort zone of my previous, just like working my previous job, and then expecting the same reward, expecting the same expectation and people around it, and the same hierarchy and all that. Or option B, which is a different thing, it's like totally different new sector that I never explored in. Now my priority at that time, previously my priority was financial stability. That was my priority previously. And also another add-on was to gain experience and gain a skill that I can brought with me, even though when the job is gone or something, like it's still within me, so I do not have to worry, because I have the skill, I can use it anytime. Now that was my priority. Now when choosing the option for me, I come to realize that there's no right option, guys. There's no right answer. There is no right answer. And that gives me a sense of security, a safety, because no matter what I choose, I will never have the most correct answer. And that's life. And that's the beauty of it. Because you do not have the correct answer. Because we grew up in a society, the way we brought up is you have a question, and then there's only this answer that can answer this question. That's it. That's it, full stop. And there's no other possibility for you to go out, to branch out your thoughts, your ideas, and it's just like that. So I come to a conclusion that there's no wrong or right answer. It's just that I have to follow that path. If I'm on option A, I'll follow option A path. And if I'm on option B, I'll follow option B path. The difference between that is just a duality. A difference when we're talking about duality, for me, it's just like a state of working in option A and the state of working in option B. They are still work, but it's just they look different by our mind and we complicate it, but it's just that option A and option B, okay guys, listen to this. Option A and option B are different degree of work. They are all on the same linear path line, but they're on the different degree of work. So no matter what, I'm still working, I'm still on that degree. It's just that what state do I choose to be in? Okay, another example for you to understand is, for example, if you see water, water is still water, the element. It's just that with different degree, there's different duality, which is the water can be hot, which is the state, and the water can be cold. The water can be ice, be hot, be liquid, it can be malleable and all this. So it's just like different degree of state, but it's still water. So when I understand that, option A and option B is still different degree of work, I choose to see what state do I want to put myself in. So I reassess everything in a way that's very practical. So I do not, of course, at first I will have some emotion. That's why I'm at the crossroad, okay? Because I need to decide. Now, the way I think about this decision, I come to this decision is, I think about my age, I think about my privilege, I think about my freedom, my time, I think about my priorities. Now, when I have all this access coming in, displaying on me, is that I'm still young, I'm able to take risks, I do not have any burden that I have to take care of a family or not, because I'm only taking care of myself. And I have energy, I have the brains to learn new things. So why do I need to stick with the old things? Why not put myself out there and take a bigger risk? So that was the conclusion that I came up with. So instead of letting my emotion consume me, I try to think more practicality. So when I thought of that, and I thought of how will I be happy? Will I be happy if after I take option A, or will I be happy after I take option B? Now, in my mind, my thinking was that if I take option A, I will not be happy because I already know what to expect. And that happiness is already inside within my expectation. So I want to try out something different. Now, it's easy for me to say to you now, but it took me a few days to even come to this conclusion. I have to keep on reassess and rethink to come to this conclusion that maybe option B, even though it's a huge risk, but I feel like I'll be willingly and happily take up this risk because everything in life has a risk, and I'm willing to take this risk and see how it turns out. So I choose the option B, which is trying out a new sector and a new expertise that could be developed within me. And I'm so glad that I took option B because it allows me to increase my way of thinking. It increases my way of understanding a lot of things in a different perspective. And I would say if not for that decision, I will not be who I am today. And maybe that in a way is an answer. It's my own type of answer. Do you get it? It's my own type of answer. So I want you to find your type of answer, not others' opinion, not others, not afraid of what others think of it. So if you have this type of situation that you're in a crossroad, I want you to really don't pay any attention to what other people are saying because they can say a lot of things. They can say a lot of things. And today they can say this, tomorrow they can say that. But it's sometimes it's even all in your head. They never say it. Or they say it. So what? So what? Because if they say this and it stops you from becoming greater, it stops you from becoming something that could be much great, then you're just easily like stop. Then everything in your life you'll be feared of. That's it. That's the conclusion. So find your own answer, build your own path. It doesn't have to be the same as everyone. Everyone has different story, different encounter, different experience. That's why really when you're just looking at the surface, you never know what the person is going through because it will never be the same. It will never be the same because they have a lot. One person can have a lot of factors they have to take into account. So today I'm just only sharing a little bit of how to navigate your thoughts during that crossroad moments because I believe everyone will encounter this, and that's normal. That's okay. But take your time to really think for yourself, to think in a way that's beneficial, to think in a way that's beyond your past program, beyond your upbringing. You think in a way that's global, that's macro, that's in the bigger picture. That's what we say. And when you can think that, trust me, life it's gonna get easier and easier, so much easier. And you can achieve anything that you want if you think for yourself and think it wisely and smartly. So that's it for me today in this video. See you guys on the next one.